as a gay man who came of age in the 60s, late 60s and 70s with gay liberation, one of the things I always felt an absence in my life was elders. And James was important to me because he came across as my grandfather. He came across as somebody important. He came across as somebody worth listening to. And because that was so missing in my life, even though I had teachers and mentors and elders in my life, there was still this great longing for more and more and more. And James filled that for me. Many times when I'm working with a patient, there will be a dream image. There will be something they'll say. There's something that I hear in an echo or between words, and I say, oh, that reminds me of a James Broughton poem. And I scurry to my bookcase and spend 10 minutes trying to find the poem, locating it, and then reading it to them, and maybe allowing them to take the book of poetry home with them and bring them back next week. That there's a way that what James is tapping into, I think, is the collective gay unconscious, the collective unconsciousness, period. And then there's a room in that collective unconscious marked gay men. And he is connected with that in some way. It's kind of, most people deal with the outer shell of the fortune cookie. James had, metaphorically, the courage and wisdom to break it open and actually read what was inside. And so his poetry obviously speaks to me. The way Whitman's poetry speaks to me. The way Ginsberg's poetry speaks to me. In many ways, he was as visionary as they were. But where Whitman alludes to the pleasures of the flesh and sometimes makes us believe that he was getting it, and there's some debate about whether it was imaginary or real, but it doesn't really matter. James was somebody who lived it. I see him in that tradition of Blake, Whitman, Ginsberg. That's why I said earlier, death ends a life, it doesn't end a relationship. James is as alive in my life today as he was when he was walking this earth.